Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Cristian Garcia.
What up?
What up, nerds?
Excited about this episode.
Are you
Excited.
excited? Yeah, we decided to do a fun little activity for this episode where Cristian always is trying to get me to watch shitty movies.
That's not accurate.
Nope, it's 100% accurate. He tries to get me to watch shitty movies.
So Cody has a very narrow taste of movies, and I can enjoy a wide variety. And I'm trying to open you up to more experiences.
Well, what I'd say is that you waste all your time watching shitty movies, and you miss some fucking stone cold classics.
Now, mind you, most of these quote unquote shitty movies I saw growing up, so I'm not wasting my time.
You wasted your childhood.
By expanding my universe.
Sure, whatever you say. Anyway, we thought it would be fun because he's constantly trying to get me to watch shitty movies, which we did on our Cross episode.
I wish I had a button for every time you said shitty, like like some kind of quotation or something.
No, I will not give you access to the buttons. Yeah, we did. That was Customers Also Watched, right? That we did the Cross episode with.
Yes.
Where we watched Arena, and I was like, I don't want to keep watching shitty movies, and like I don't gain anything from it. So I thought, hey, what if? And I'm constantly surprised by movies that you haven't seen that I think are like, staples of American cinema.
The only one that I feel. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit more later. But so we decided to swap, and I watched a shitty movie that he suggested, and he watched a good movie that I suggested. So we'll have some of that later. But before we do that, let's do some nerdy confessions, where we confess the things that make us nerds. Would you like to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, for those watching YouTube, have seen it. So I got as a gift this little Pikachu xenomorph. I'd seen it on Amazon, and I didn't think it was gonna be this dope. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it this much. Like I think you said you saw it at a con, right?
Yeah, I think I saw it at Comic-Con either last year or the year before.
So I mean, looking at the pictures on Amazon, I thought it was gonna be like this bad, crappy little thing, and it's actually the details on it is actually pretty good. You can actually see a little skull in the clear part. I mean, sorry for anyone who's not watching, but I'm sure Cody will throw pictures later. But
so it's basically supposed to be like the xenomorph from the Alien.
Like if a facehugger had got on a Pikachu, and it's definitely not licensed because Nintendo would not okay this shit.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably more like one of the engineers from Prometheus, like shot the spores or whatever into Pikachu.
Maybe
because then it took on. Remember, it kind of like took on the characteristics of whatever its host was.
To me, it definitely looks like it was a facehugger, at least following the lore.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
We'll throw pictures later I know it's not exciting for you guys listening, but
yeah, we'll put pictures up on Instagram as well. We'll do a little photo shoot. But yeah, those are really cool. I've seen them. There's someone makes a big one too. It's probably the same company. They make like a, I was gonna say life size, but Pikachu's not real, but. Like the size I imagine
him being
Pikachu.
like that.
Okay, maybe like a small Pikachu, like a 10 or 12 inch little statue or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
I'm definitely gonna get the rest of them now, for sure. Like this one looks pretty.
Are
cool.
there? And they're all Pikachus, aren't they?
No, there's a Bulbasaur one.
They've done a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. Do they have a Charmander and Squirtle yet?
No, not yet.
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming down the pipeline. Speaking of Pokemon, what's funny is, we follow this one. I'm gonna say cosplayer.
Why are you gonna say cosplayer?
Because I don't know if she doesn't really cosplay. She has a bunch of nerdy stuff. Her name was Poke Princess.
Yes.
Remember on Instagram?
She got in trouble.
She did. She got in a lot of trouble. She got sued by Nintendo.
Successfully sued.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It must have not been that bad because she did a video saying like, I get it. They were totally right. I shouldn't have been doing that. I didn't know.
Well, I think so. From my understandings, I read about it. She got sued for all the money that she made off of merchandise that said Poke Princess on it, or, that had Pokemon and stuff on it, right? Which makes sense. I mean, that's IP, right?
No, absolutely. That totally makes sense. I want to know how they caught wind of this. Like,
someone saw our OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's
and was
the
like,
thing.
Oh, fuck.
I doubt it was like a concerned like Pokemon player who ran into. I'm gonna email Nintendo. No, it's someone maybe mid-level Nintendo who saw it, and I was like, I should probably bring this up. Ooh, but I don't want to know that I subscribed.
Yeah.
It's like they're gonna ask me why I've been following for 3 months and waited this long.
There's research.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's now rebranded to, I think it was Digital Princess. Not as cool, not as good of a alliteration. But
also, she must have been making some decent money for Nintendo to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
like,
we want all that money back. That's probably why she was cool with it, though, because she did the OnlyFans, and that's probably way more money.
Probably.
And they probably can't touch that because she's straight up selling her body. Anyway.
Probably can't wear Pikachu ears or something, but...
Yeah, exactly. They have to be like unlicensed electric rat ears.
Shaco rat.
Shaco rat, like all those knockoff Halloween costumes.
I saw someone had posted a picture. It was Beetlejuice, and it said "Juice Demon."
Juice Demon. That's a pretty good one. My nerdy confession. Now, bear with me, Christian. This is not going to be down your lane.
Sports.
No,
it's
actually,
a sports ball.
No, actually, it's guitar.
Okay,
guitar and music. So while I was on, I've been playing guitar now since I was in like a freshman in high school. And I started off on bass before that and saxophone before that.
Slap it the bass.
Slap it the bass. And I recently, it's one of those things, you get older and it's like you have a job and responsibilities and a podcast and all this stuff, and your
hopes and dreams die.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just like you straight up run out of time. Like there's not enough time in a week to get my normal, 3 or 4 hours of guitar playing practice that I normally did. So I fell off of my guitar playing. So I've recently gotten back into it, because I now, I bought some new strings and, I figured out how to record it on the computer and things like that. And so I'm excited to like get better at it. And I've been playing the past, month or so, getting back to where I was.
So we're going to get some like sample riffs and stuff. Is that
yeah, I could do sample riffs if you want. In fact, I think I have some on my phone, but we can insert them in later. But we did, basically, now I watch a lot of YouTube videos on like new techniques and practice, exercises, things like that. And I came across this one of like this treasured piece of equipment, which I really like nerded out over the past couple days. And so what it is it's a guitar pedal. And, for those people who don't play guitar, when you play an electric guitar, a lot of people use pedals. They're these little boxes, or some people call them stomp boxes, that have different effects on them, right?
Okay.
So this one, all it is overdrive, which is, you can think of like a distortion type pedal. But there was only 8,000 of them made, and they were all made by hand. It's called the Klon, Klon Centaur, like the half man, half horse.
Okay.
Right.
It makes sense for a pedal. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So it's, it's just a cool mythical beast kind of thing. And so it originally came out, it was $225, right?
Okay. When?
Back in the 90s, late 90s.
And they only made how many?
8,000.
It's not very good business right there.
Right, yeah. And so anyway, now they go for about $5,000 a pedal.
And you're about to show them camera that you
I wish I was. But so I did this deep dive. I'm like, dude, why is this thing so expensive? And then I watched some videos of people playing it. Sounds amazing. Like it does. It sounds really, 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 really good.
And no one's trying to like remake them? Or?
So here's the fun thing that I found out during my deep dive of research. So basically there's multiple people who have come up with clones of them. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's one that I think I'm going to buy next week. When I get a chance to go to Guitar Center. It's called the Wombler, like Tumblin or something like that.
Love the name. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird name. The guy's name is like Chris Wombler or some shit like that. And in the description, it actually it kind of references the centaur. It's basically like, hey, If you can't afford a really overpriced golden stomp box,
Wow.
because it's golden, trade it in for a different mythical beast. And this one has, instead of a centaur, has a satyr on it. And it's essentially the same thing. But yeah, I just, something about the whole story behind it where, they're handmade by this one guy, and like some of the greatest guitar players ever used them to play, like John Mayer and like I think Warren Haynes had one at one point. Some of these really, really good guitar player guys, and it's just really like funny to listen about the lore. And and when you open up the inside of them, the guy was so secretive about how he made the pedal. He covered the circuit board in this black like goo stuff, like a sealant, so you couldn't see what he did.
This is the original one.
The original one, yeah. So it's pretty amazing, and yeah, it's called the Klon Centaur.
I mean, I get that you want to protect, like your property and what you made, but at the same time, like, wouldn't you want someone to maybe see what you did and try to work on it and improve it, and try to make better things?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is if you're going to self-limit them by making only 8,000 of them, here's how it looks.
Yeah.
He made several versions. There's one that's silver with no centaur on it. There's one that's gold with the centaur on it. There's one gold without the centaur on it. The gold with the centaur or gold with the horse is the most sought after. Here's all the different ones. So yeah, to me it's like, okay, if you're gonna self-limit yourself by only making 8,000 of them, like either make more of them or sell your patent to a company that can make a bunch of them so everyone can have it.
It's just terrible business.
Outside
of being like a
unless
weirdo.
he stockpiled like an extra 1,000 of them and he's selling them at the $5,000.
Just like little by little, one
little
by
by
one.
little, just for rent money. It's not a bad idea.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you would make more if you just it's called the Tumnus. Here's that. $150 for that one.
Yeah.
And they sound pretty. I've heard some side by sides. They sound pretty similar.
No, I mean that's obviously.
But the reason why I brought it up, although it's nerdy in itself because it's mythical creatures and it's like there's a lore behind it. Look who makes a clone of it. Good old Wish.com.
Are you serious?
Makes a clone of it. There it is. Yep. Yeah, it looks amazing.
$46, so you know it's good.
$46. I'm like, how good could it really sound though? It is cool that it looks.
I'm not gonna let you spend $46.
Yeah.
On that.
If I was to do it, the only reason I would do it is so I could buy one of these Womplers.
Oh, and like put that
and
in
put
that.
the electronics in it.
All
It's
right.
not a bad idea.
I guess
It doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm playing gigs or anything. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, the Klon Centaur. Check it out if you want some crazy. Oh, here's the black goo. Yeah, here's a good picture of the black goo. See
What
that?
a weirdo.
Yeah, so strange. But
Also, check out Wish if you wanted to.
yeah, if you wanted, I'll put a link on our website or on our Instagram.
If you're
So you can
looking
check
for weird, dildos and fleshlights and butt plugs.
Yeah, maybe they make a butt plug version of these.
Probably.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be into that.
You start playing, and the vibrations go. Yeah.
Power chords. But yeah, I just thought it's such a. I love that even guitar playing. There's like a mythos to it. There's like you can really deep dive and find these this is just like like the Boba Fett Kenner character who's like jetpack shot people's eyes out, so they only released so many. Yeah. Alrighty, well that's the end of Nerdy Confessions, so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with some movie swap action, some hot movie swap action, and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Such great ads.
What's really funny is that they didn't put one in our first episode.
Oh, really?
So it's just us being like, oh man, what a great product.
Round 2, maybe they got it right.
Round 2, maybe we got this time. Let us know in the comments. Did you hear an ad? If not, is this weird?
That one wasn't on us.
That one was not us. Also, the YouTube one, I didn't do anything. I just left everything in of us being like, so what do we do now? do we just come back? I guess we just come back.
Working out the kinks.
Working out the kinks. So yeah, we decided to do a fun little experiment, if you will, where Cristian, definitely has some movies that he's missing from his repertoire. Yeah, and but I do too. Admittedly, like I haven't seen any of these shitty movies he wanted me to see. So it's definitely one of those things where I think we could both benefit from this. So we'll pull this out of the closet every once in a while when we want to, when we need some content.
Every episode we're doing. Moving forward.
This is just a bad movie, good movie podcast now. Just kidding. Please keep listening and subscribing.
Which one do you want to do first?
I could go first if you want. I can pull up my notes. Check this out. I wrote notes.
I don't have notes. Fuck notes.
Yeah. So I watched Firewalker, starring the one, the only, Chuck Norris.
Old Chucky Norris.
Old Chucky Norris. Also, Sala from Indiana Jones was in it.
Yes.
Or Gimli from
Lord
Lord
Gimli.
of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like more people know him as Gimli, but he was solid.
And Sonny Landham, like Billy from Predator. Of course, you don't know him because he's Native American.
Oh, that was Billy.
El Coyote.
He was El Coyote.
Yes, he was.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. I couldn't tell. He has an eye patch.
Yeah,
Only saw half of his face.
red Cyclops, not racist at all. Not racist at all.
That probably wouldn't. There was a lot of questionable lines in that.
This is why it's entertaining, Cody, because it ages like for fine wine.
If you just want to watch racist movies, I could just email you Song of the South. I think I have it saved somewhere.
See, but that's the thing.
Just kidding. No, I don't. I definitely don't have Song of the South.
That's the thing about these movies. Like they're little gem. Like, granted, it's like you're going through a big picture that, admittedly, is it a great movie? No, it is a bad movie. But you find little gems that just make it so good, worth the time you invested. And we'll get into it. But
I think the thing that bothers me, especially about these, is this was like a canon film, right?
Yes,
so,
I love canon films.
I
for love canon films.
Why don't you tell the fine folks what canon films are known for?
All right, Canon Films is known for this. It's this studio that would make unheard of amount of movies a year. They would do like between 40 to 60 movies in a year. Between the granted, in the 70s it was a porno, which I don't remember the two Jewish gentlemen that bought it. So it used to be previously a porno production company.
An adult film.
Porno.
And so Triple X movies. That's back when they rated pornos.
Don't they still rate them?
They don't rate pornos. Pornos are just pornos now.
I don't know. Anyway,
right?
So they bought the movie company, and they would just pump out films after film after film, and 90% were garbage. But they would get
say like 99%.
But every year they would get one magical hit that will just make all the money they had lost with profit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of was their cycle. They would make garbage, accidentally make something good, make their money back. And
because Bloodsport was one, wasn't it?
Bloodsport was one. Cobra was another one.
Cobra, that's not bad.
What was, although arguably I'm not too sure if they made money Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Not too sure if they made.
Ooh, they had to on that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was okay for what it was.
It's definitely the best arm wrestling movie I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
So basically, it's a whole company that kind of based on, I can't even spell it.
So it's two N's. So he's looking it up. It's CANN.
Like a shot from a cannon.
Yep. Right in the mouth. Shot to the mouth.
Yeah.
Bloodsport.
Masters of the Universe.
And that
American
Ninja. Life Force. Maybe we'll do Life Force next. We'll see.
I've seen Life Force, I think.
Cyborg actually made a whole ton of money, and it's one of the movies that started launching.
I don't know if I've seen Cyborg.
If you haven't, definitely watch it.
Oh, is this Death Wish?
Yes, Death Wish.
Oh, Death Wish was good.
They locked in
Superman.
Yeah, the worst one. I think it was
like Superman 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Quest for Peace. Yeah, there it is.
Another, since we're doing little nuggets on Canon Films, they actually bought the first movie rights to Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting.
And they were
Thank God they got rid of those.
Yeah, they did not make it. 80s canon film Spider-Man. I'm not too sure if I would have wanted it just to see how bad it would have been. But that would have been shit. They were the ones who released the Captain America movie straight to video.
Oh, the motorcycle one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Canon Films.
I own that one.
See? There's some garbage movies that you do like.
I've never actually watched it.
You just bought it.
Here's what's funny. So on that movie, I bought it at it was either Comic-Con or Fanime or something like that. I bought it. I gave it to my friend Anthony to hold on to it because I didn't have a backpack and he had a backpack, and then he kept it forever.
Nice.
So I've never actually seen it, and I don't know if I technically still own it anymore.
No, I think at that point,
Cyborg. That was with the old Jean-Claude.
Yeah. So interesting information about that film. So they had bought a whole bunch of stuff from Masters of the Universe. They thought it was going to be an amazing film. They were calling it like the next Star Wars. And so there was a bunch of props and scenes that they had cut that they didn't use. So they're like, all right, we have a bunch of stuff that we didn't use for this movie. Let's use it for another movie. They just took the props, made Cyborg, and that was their big hit. That started making money.
Masters of the Universe, yeah. That one was interesting. Oh, they made Death Wish 3.
All the Death Wishes, I'm pretty sure they made.
Oh, and why would they put 3? Oh, yeah, Over the Top. That's a good one, too. Yeah, so anyway, Pawakatsi. I don't know what that's all about. So I watched Firestarter, or Firewalker. Firestarter would have been
Firewalker.
Firestarter would have been a welcome reprieve from watching this. And so, yeah, it's basically Chuck Norris. I don't know the other actor's name. What's the other?
Louis Gossett Jr.
Sure.
Gossett Jr.
And their names were like Max and doesn't matter.
I'll give it to you. It was Max Donegan and Leo Porter.
Leo, that's what I was going to say. And so it's these two adventurers, nondescript adventurer guys.
Excuse me, Leo is a learned professor. He's a teacher. That's how he knew all that stuff.
Interesting. and then so Max is just like an overall badass who's bad at shooting guns but good at throwing knives.
Exactly. He's a mercenary.
Cool. And they basically they come across this lady who she's like, hey, I have this treasure map to find some gold.
She's kind of psychic, all right?
She is kind of psychic. Which they don't, like, she just kind of stares off into the distance for some reason. And then I'm just like, what's happening? Like, did she forget her line? But no, she's psychic.
She was doing her psychic thing.
She's doing her psychic thing. But like, she has this map that's, that has this Mayan, Aztec, Spanish, Egyptian gold treasure, and she needs help finding it.
Yep.
And so Chuck Norris and the other guy decide to help her out.
I love how they set that up because it was a straight up D&D hook.
Yeah.
They're in a bar.
They're
having a good time. It's like, man, we missed out on that adventure. We didn't make any money. And then she shows up like, hey, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I got an adventure for you guys.
I've got an adventure.
There's gold. I need brave men and loyalty.
Yeah. Come into my parlor and I'll spin you a tale.
Dude, I loved the D&D hook.
Yeah. It's like a 10-year-old D&D.
You beat me because I was going to say, like, this movie and a lot of canon films, it's like they gave teenagers an essay assignment. Hey, I need you to write a movie script, or at least a skeleton movie script. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know movies. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then they go and they shoot it.
First, they're two badasses. It's like if Indiana Jones was split into two people.
Yeah.
One guy's a teacher and pretty much useless. The other guy, good with knives, bad with guns, but he'll do whatever it takes. He's also really good at karate.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was crazy about the two main characters is they're so nonchalant about everything.
All the danger is like... danger means
like,
nothing.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
This is just like back in Istanbul or whatever the fuck they say.
All the time.
And like even in the first scene, they're like captured by some, I want to say Asian. But who knows?
I love that they were supposed to be in like the Middle East, and like most of the guys that were chasing them were like I think they were supposed to be Middle Eastern dudes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like a Filipino guy comes out.
Yeah.
Like one of our many friends that we have here in the Bay Area just came out and started doing a weird accent.
Yeah, like where's he supposed to be from?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we meet again. So these guys have an established universe. That's kind of what it's telling
that they do not expand on at
yeah,
all.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. I don't know why.
And this is what's funny. So they tie them up in the desert. You know, their hands kind of outstretched. I don't know what you would call it, like stakes down into the sand. Mm-hmm. Okay, desert sand.
They're not going to be able to lift that.
Okay, and they have ropes, ropes around their wrists. So here's my problem. Is like, first of all, you could probably just wiggle enough and lift those out of the thing.
That's American sand. That's Middle Eastern sand.
It might be a different thing. Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But also, if you look really closely at the ropes around the wrists, they're just tied around the stake, so you could just lift the rope off of the stake.
Yeah, but these guys...
I took a picture of it, too, because I was like, what the fuck is this?
On YouTube, I'm sure you guys saw the picture.
Yeah, exactly. So that was interesting. And they didn't leave scorpions or anything on him. He actually left him with a bottle of water.
Yeah.
And what he does is he breaks it.
Yeah, he says,
uses the
in
glass.
3 hours, you're going to be thirsty. In 10 hours, your skin will be crackling. And then he said, whatever hours, you'll be dead. And you have the life water in your hand. Ah! Evil fucking laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Very strange. And so he leaves, of course, and then they escape, obviously. There's a couple fun moments in it, too. Like, at one point, Leo is just straight up sleeping in his clothes. Like, when they're on the adventure, like, they're in a hotel room, and there's this guy named the Red Coyote, which we already kind of mentioned, who's like after them. And so
it's just El Coyote.
Oh, I thought you said there's
Red Cyclops.
Red Cyclops. Oh, okay.
That's when she saw her psychicness and was like, "There's a Red Cyclops."
Oh, that's
was
right.
after us.
Oh, that makes. I was like, the whole time I was thinking, where's this Red Cyclops? This Cyclops now makes sense. It was a Native
American gentleman with an eye patch.
Got it. Jesus Christ. And so at one point, they're at a hotel and down in like Bolivia or something like that.
Mexico.
I thought this one day had gone further down to South America. Doesn't matter really in the grand scheme of things. They're probably all filmed in Mexico. Don't blame us.
It was a teenage kid that wrote it. Didn't make sense.
And so this lady answers the door and she's like, I have this crazy potion to drink or whatever. And Chuck Norris is like, I'm always down, and invites a strange woman in where they've already had people try to stop them on this adventure.
Yes, sir.
He drinks from this gourd, then it obviously gets knocked out and she's going to stab him. But then the other lady, who Patricia is her name.
So she has been psychically woken up
by
Tall Eagle, who was chanting to wake her up.
Right. I did like Tall Eagle.
Tall Eagle was amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like he has a very little amount of screen time, but he's very charming and like, dude, like I want to.
So Tall Eagle's like this Native American like medicine man kind of guy, but like, and they're like go talk to him. He's got all the answers. He'll help you on your journey. And when they go to him, he's like sitting in his little, for lack of a better word, teepee.
Yeah.
And he's like watching I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, why doesn't he just slap her?
Yeah.
I would never deal with this shit. And I'm just like, dude, that guy's funny. And then they go into like another smaller TV and have like a vision quest or whatever.
Yes.
And he gives them some very basic information. But he helps them later psychically.
Yeah.
By doing a cool chant.
He does give her a little sack of dust. And
sack of dust, yeah.
Like,
that'll keep you safe, but it didn't really.
He's like, you'll know when to use it.
Yeah. You're supposed to throw it in his eye. He only has one eye, dummy.
Also, like, bad bargaining on Tall Eagle's side. Like, they was taking 20%. It was his people's gold. It was the Native Americans' gold. Yeah. He was going to let these Americans take 80%.
Well, Leo only wanted to give him 2%.
Yeah, Leo
fucking stingy bastard.
Because when they were, Leo, like when they were discussing, Leo was like 2, and he's like 20%.
He's like, no, 2%. But what I was getting to is, okay, so Patricia gets psychically woken up, and she goes in to stop this lady from killing Chuck Norris. Then Leo gets normal woken up.
Yes. No. It was also
a psychic thing?
It was also Tall Eagle.
Okay, sure. Whatever. But when they flash to him waking up, he's fully dressed with his shoes on.
I didn't notice that.
And then he runs in and pulls Mama. He's just laying in bed, fully clothed, like he had just like.
Cody, when you're adventuring, you got to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready at all times. I thought this line was pretty cool. Quit acting like a dad gum sissy.
Yeah, and that was his thing. That was like McFar. Damn it, that was like Jamie Foxx. Fucking oh my god, from Back to the Future when they call him Chicken.
Oh, Marty McFly.
Yeah, that was like his trigger. Like, oh, call me Chicken. Like that was his. Like, don't call me no sissy.
Don't call me no sissy. And then at one point they go to another bar. A lot of bars in this one.
A lot of bars.
They Chuck Norris, he needs to get information. They're like, we've come to a dead end. We don't know where else to find information.
For whatever reason, there was a British dude in this bar.
But this is how he finds out. He goes, $20 American for any information. Any information
and
at
Leo
all.
was like, dude, stop flashing that money.
He's like, stop flashing that money. He's like, $50. He doesn't say what information he's looking for. What does he expect people to say?
And everyone's like, shut up in Spanish. I'm like, shut up, sit down.
Yeah, and then finally a British guy's like, yeah, I'll do it for $100. And the information he gives him is like, go talk to this guy. He's 200 miles away, but he'll help you.
Yeah.
Here's $100. What the fuck? Like, God damn it. But then Chuck Norris beats up a bunch of guys, and the bar seems to be made of styrofoam.
Well, there was a really big guy, for whatever reason, wanted to insult. In D&D, he would be the brawler. In some NPC quest where you're like, oh, let's just get these guys fighting for a minute. He's the brawler he's the bar brawler who's the champion, and he just needed to establish himself. That's what it was.
Yeah, but every time someone leans back on a table, like after Chuck Norris roundhouses him, like they just lean on the table just crumples and falls apart.
Have you ever been hit by a Chuck Norris hit?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh, didn't you crumple a table when you took it?
No, I broke his foot.
Nice.
That's how badass I am. I wrote this note down. Why are they dressed as priests? I thought that was interesting.
So they had to go into, I think it was Chahal, which is the area where they needed to get to.
Yep.
And it was military controlled, and you couldn't go in without papers. And they're like, but if we're priests,
they won't ask us.
They won't ask for papers.
But they kind of did, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, they had shot a guy. Well, not Chucky, but the Mexican army had shot a guy.
And then they're like running through the banana fields, and Patricia goes and hides in this banana thing.
Yeah,
and she hears someone outside, and she's like, Max, is that you? And like pokes her face out, and it's some drunk, South American dude.
It was a military guy, yep.
Who was looking for them. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're being chased, And she's like, oh my God. And then like when he sees her, he's drunk as fuck, and she just immediately takes off her nun costume.
And he's like, oh, she wants to have sex.
Yeah, and so he's like, I'm gonna rape this girl, and she's like, what? And so then she shoots him.
Well, she
takes his gun out and
yep.
threatens him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Patricia? Dumb bitch.
What did he call her? A tart? No.
He called her Hermana at first. Oh yeah, he called her a fruitcake.
A fruitcake.
Yeah, fucking fruitcake. And then the last thing I'll say, they do run into Sala / Gimli.
Yes.
What's his name? It's
in the movie.
No, just
John Wright.
John Rhys Davies. Jonathan Rhys Davies. And he's like, it's the old classic trope where it's like, oh, you think they're being captured by some warlord boss, but just kidding. He's actually friends with them and he loves them.
Yeah.
It's like, it's straight out of Indiana Jones.
They were like, cutting, like they were going to cut their heads off, like they're chopping like melons in front of him. He's like, just kidding, and wanted to scare you. What's up, buddy? Let's go drink. And
then, but the accent he's doing, what was he doing?
I think that was his attempt at Spanish.
I think he was doing a British accent, but with Southern inflections. Like he was saying like y'all, and he's like, ain't never been one. And then he would like.
I just love him as an actor.
He was great, but it's just like pick a lane. Who are you supposed to be?
This is how much I love him.
He's in South America doing a British / Georgian accent.
Yeah, they were like, you're in South America. Oh, so Southern. Okay, got it. I got it.
I do declare.
And they're like, no.
For the Queen and country.
And he's like,
further. Fuck.
Like further south. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I got it. Don't worry.
I got it.
We'll shoot it live. It's fine.
It's like, I'll be fine. I'm Welsh. He's like, no. Like the American South. Oh, well, I'll just say ain't a bunch.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. And they do find the gold at the end.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, I guess.
Spoiler alert. And big twist at the end, Filipino Baldy is back.
Yeah, he's at a bar. He's like, so we meet again.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. So I guess, what do I think it was worth it?
Look how much fun we had talking about it. That alone, it should be worth it.
I'd say there was okay parts in it. You know, like you got to see early Chuck Norris doing. You know, he was definitely doing some of his signature Chuck Norris moves.
It's his first comedy. This was his first comedy. In fact, he was tied up in a contract with Canon Films, and he was like, "Guys, I want to do a comedy."
Yeah,
and they're like, "That's not really what you're known for." And they're like, "Look, we'll do a comedy. If it doesn't work out, then I'll stop attempting a comedy." So he didn't want to be known anymore just as the karate guy. He wanted to attempt to do something else.
Gotcha.
So then it actually did okay. I don't know if moving forward if he did any comedies. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
But I did like him as that character.
Yeah, it was fine. Oh, also he always had a cigar, but he never smoked it.
No, it was just he had it.
He just had it. So I feel like Canon Films could only afford one cigar.
Yeah.
So he just chewed on it.
Also, they were shooting in Mexico. Made parts of the jungle very moist that day. Probably
gross.
kept.
Yeah, kept puttering out.
Yeah.
It was too wet.
Exactly.
So nothing worse than a wet cigar.
Also, at least to me, it seemed like the actors all had a really good time filming it. It didn't seem they seemed genuinely like to enjoy each other's company, at least on screen.
I will say the chemistry between the three main characters was fairly good, especially the two main guys, Max and Leo. Like their chemistry was great. The love thing between Max and Patricia. Chuck Norris and
it also came very late, like in the third act.
It came in the third act, and like on the pinhead turn, it was like he's just like, when I called you your fruitcake, I didn't mean it. Let's make out now. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a little forced, and I don't think it needed it.
Also, because it was very much like they were all very buddies. Like, in fact, it was kind of cool that one of them wasn't trying to bang her. They're like, she's equal and it's a peer. What annoyed me a little bit is when Leo was like, I'm gonna give them some time to maybe make out, and he's washing dishes, and then he disappears and they see blood, and Max Chuck Norris is just kind of like, I'm gonna leave on this trip. You are a fruitcake. He's like, no, but the treasure, and he's like, you're right. And it's like, dude, that's it for your homie? That was it? You didn't even try to look for him much other than be like, where are you? Where are you?
Hey, where are you? Well, you must be dead.
It's like, dude,
I'm going home.
That's it?
That's it? You're not even going to look behind that tree over there? What's going on? Yeah, so obviously, I think the bones of the story could have led to something cool. Mm-hmm. It was the very low budget aspect of it that really, I think, worked against it.
You know what's insane? That maybe it'll drive you a little bit insane. It came out the same year as Top Gun. Fuck. So it's like, dude, you got
1986.
You got movies that you could obviously have great effects and great visuals. There was Labyrinth came out, Short Circuit came out. Well,
that's the thing is
Little Shop of Horrors.
They didn't even need to be effects so much. It just
production
value. So at one point they're going. I think this might have been when they were in Mexico. They were like, "Oh, we're going out to find this secret cave," and they're like, "Look over there!" And they flash to this picturesque Mother Mary statue that was obviously bought at some garden shop.
Yeah. It was really bad.
It was brand new. It might have still had a price tag on it, and it was surrounded by dusty, dirty wasteland.
Canon Films, baby.
Yeah, you couldn't have taken some dirt that was right next to it and rubbed it on there.
They were doing too much cocaine at the time. They just we need to get through this.
Exactly.
I got 50 other pictures I need to make.
And yeah, and the fight scenes, even though Chuck Norris was doing great, the people who were not Chuck Norris did terrible. At one point, Patricia takes her shoe off and hits a guy and instantly knocks him out.
Right on top of the head. It was the heel is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of impact.
Yeah, it looks so stupid. And that whole bar, they showed after he's done beating everyone up, every single table is destroyed.
That was his mission, was to make sure that
destroy every table.
He got extra points for that.
All right. So was it worth it? Yeah, it's fine. It's not a movie I'll ever watch again. But I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would hate it.
There we go. Oh, that's a win.
So that's progress, I guess. So, Christian, you saw Blade Runner. Now, one thing with Blade Runner is there's a million versions of it.
I saw.
So which one did you see?
The final cut.
I think the final cut, if I remember correctly, is good. There was no like cheesy voiceover by Harrison Ford.
No, that was all.
That was the theatrical one.
That was the one that Ridley Scott
said
he had all the right, or he had all the say in it. So that was his.
Yeah, because the theatrical version of Blade Runner actually came out, and they had like a film noir-esque voiceover from Harrison Ford.
No,
like,
there was none of that.
She was a dame unlike any other dame. You know, that
nothing,
kind of
nothing
thing.
of that.
But it was also him just obviously mailing it in because they did it afterwards. They're like, people don't know what's going on.
So my take on it,
yeah,
amazingly shot film.
Mm-hmm.
The effects still hold up today, at least on the version that I saw. It was great. All the props looked amazing. The actors were great. I mean, there's not really. I was actually, when I was doing a little bit of research about it, I'm surprised it did not do well domestically. I haven't seen the theater. Maybe there was a reason why it didn't do too well here, but it definitely became more popular as I guess it was way beyond its time.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a cult classic.
Apparently did way better in Europe, and then that's where it started picking up.
Well, I think, when I think of Blade Runner, and, eventually you're going to see Blade Runner 2049, maybe for next week. Maybe next week or the week after. One thing to notice, and a lot of Ridley Scott movies are like this, is they are very slow. They're not like in your face action, that was more of a Tony Scott thing. But it makes you think, and you have to think about it. You have to just sit there and watch it everything come out over on the screen. So it's like you really have to sit there and experience it. If you're not ready for that kind of movie, it's a very European aesthetic, very French new wave type aesthetic to the movie.
No, it was great, and the casting was amazing. Actually, I was looking into who they were considering for. Was it Rick Deckard?
Rick Deckard, yep.
So Gene Hackman was someone they were considering. Sean Connery,
ooh,
which might have been interesting. Jack Nicholson.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
I don't know what he looked like when did it come out? 80.
I mean, he would have still been a pretty young guy.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman would have been fucking sick.
Paul Newman would have been interesting. Clint Eastwood, I'd be curious. Just because you only imagine him as a cowboy or to see him in futuristic would have been
but
weird.
By then he had done Dirty Harry too. You know what I mean?
I think it definitely, I don't know. I mean, he's a great actor, but who would have known in that kind of genre if he would have even understood it? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I'm thinking his range isn't.
And I think a lot of those guys, I don't think Sean Connery would have done it because he never wanted to do sci-fi. They wanted him for The Matrix, and he's like, I don't get it.
I think he got worried after the one. I don't remember the name of the movie, but he's wearing the Borat Speedo, where it's over the shoulders, and he's got pistols. I don't remember what that movie, dude. We'll throw up a picture for the people watching YouTube. I mean, while I'm talking,
Sean Connery was in that movie.
Oh yeah, he's wearing a Borat orange red Speedo, and he's got two guns on the side. It's some kind of sci-fi movie. I think after he did that, he's like, I don't
do not
get
know
these.
what movie that is.
He's like, I'm not doing these anymore.
Not doing any of these again. I don't want anything with elves or robots or anything.
Tommy Lee Jones was also considered.
I could see that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It would have been a different movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
For sure. A buffed ass fucking.
Yeah. But it wouldn't necessarily be bad because a lot of it, Deckard doesn't talk a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of him just seeing stuff and whatever. But also I like Harrison Ford because he gets his ass kicked by the replicants.
I will say this: Harrison Ford is amazing at looking like he's really hurt.
Yeah.
Whether it be Indiana Jones or this, it's dude, did they really hit him? Dude, he's
they just beat the shit out of Harrison Ford. That's why he doesn't want to do Star Wars anymore. He's tired.
I was like, man, he looks haggard.
Yeah.
He looks like he really went through it. Al Pacino was another one.
Ooh, Al Pacino.
Lastly, Burt Reynolds. Which I would have been fucking curious.
With the mustache.
He's like, I don't know.
That's cool.
No, but it was great. The whole cast was amazing. Edward James Olmos. I wished he was such a great character. And his look was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And like you didn't know whether it's like, is he Latin? Is he Japanese? Is he all of it? Like,
yeah.
In fact, I was reading like
I think the future language that they talk about in it was like half Spanish, half Chinese or something.
I think
that was how the future like it melded together or something.
City Talker, I think is what they said. Like the language was. He was a dope character. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen a movie from what was it, 1980
something.
5.
Like I did love that he would leave the little origami things everywhere, and at the end, because he does warn Deckard. He's like, hey, like, gonna keep her safe. Someone's gonna eventually.
They're gonna come for her.
They're gonna come for her, and then as they're leaving the elevator, like he sees that there's a little, basically saying like, yo, I know you got her. Like.
Well, so he sees a unicorn, right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't get that connection because there is an actual a visual of a unicorn.
A dream. So it's a dream that Deckard's having of a unicorn. And so the fact that he puts the little unicorn there means that he perhaps has seen Deckard's dreams, which means that Deckard is a replicant.
Well, so the reason I've heard that rumor before, and the reason why I was leaning towards that he was because there's a very subtle scene when she goes, I forget her name, when Rachel goes to Deckard's apartment because, he knows that she's
because she wants that dick.
Well, this is pre-dick.
Okay.
So this is like, why did you tell him I was a replicant? And he's like, well, because you are. And she's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're right, you're not. Or maybe I'm mixing two scenes. But basically there's a scene where she tells him, how do you know you're not? And then she's in focus and he's out of focus. But so anytime like they wanted to show someone was a replicant, they would show like a light behind the iris.
Yeah.
So out of focus, Harrison Ford, you can see in his eyes very lightly that you see those lights. I'm like, oh shit, he's possibly a replicant.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to be ambiguous. You know what I mean? The origami thing could be just like, hey, the guy only knows so many animals in origami, and this one happened to be a unicorn, right? It could be that, they had some sort of way of spying on him that actually read his dreams, or it could be that his dreams were implanted and that was not real. That's kind of like part of the fun of Blade Runner.
No, I mean, the movie was amazing in multiple different levels. I like even if that was put out today with those effects, it would still be amazing. Everything did look, for being in the 80s, like, usually when you watch a dated movie like that and they show futuristic stuff, it's always like the technology that's available at the time, but what they think it's going to go to.
Right.
And this one was not. It really did feel futuristic.
Well, a lot of the stuff, like, if you think about it, some of that stuff kind of translated, like, especially like all the neon and like, all the signs and advertisements and stuff, the advertisements that come out and like speak to you and stuff like that. I mean, it's freaking Google targeted ads.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And then it is funny though. It's because you have to kind of take a guess at what companies are going to do well. So Atari's a real big one.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty cool.
Who knows? Atari might make a comeback.
They might make a huge comeback. But yeah, I think that was a...
and I guess it was supposed to be 2019, was I believe.
The time that they flashed forward to.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I believe like what they were supposed to be. I was like, man, we did not go that route.
Yeah, exactly. I that's always the most depressing one. Like I remember Demolition Man, like with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Like the first scene where he blows up the building full of kids, even though fucking Simon Says guy, Wesley Snipes, already killed them. It was supposed to be in the dystopian near future. It was 1996. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, go out a little bit further,
So, interesting things that would not fly if this movie came out today.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was real rapey.
Yeah.
Was definitely real.
Everyone was real rapey back then, Christian. That was the 80s.
Like,
welcome to the 80s.
Like, he goes in for a kiss, and she was kind of okay with it, and then she's like, nope, I'm leaving. He runs to the door, bam, slams it shut. And he's like, no.
Because she didn't know that she wanted it yet.
And then very creepy and cringy. Tell me you want to kiss me.
Yeah, 2019.
And then she's like, doesn't say, he's like, and then like more for it, tell me you want to kiss me. She's like, I want to kiss you. Say it again. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, there's a fine line between
like, Jesus Christ.
between super romantic and super rapey.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, whoa, man, like that would not fly today. Also,
I don't know, Christian. Maybe I'll give it a try. See if the ladies like that.
I will work on the bail money.
Yeah, bail me out, Christian. It didn't work. Deckard was wrong.
Deckard was wrong.
Harrison Ford did it. Let me out.
Also, I don't know if this was Ridley Scott's choice or if he was aware of it. Very racist towards Asian people.
Yeah,
like all the poor people were Asian. They were always dirty, long fingernails,
eating weird shit.
Yeah, like like everyone else seemed to be doing okay. The Asians were not doing so great.
No,
in the future.
Well, I think a big part of it was just obviously in that world they had kind of taken over because the languages had mixed so much.
Yeah.
Which, hey, there's 7 billion Chinese people or whatever. No, there's 1 billion, right?
I don't know.
There's 7 billion total people in the world. So I mean, he's obviously, he might have had his own prejudices kind of built in there, but it definitely seemed like everyone was just overpopulated, and he was living in a seedy part of town.
Even like
also the sun never comes out
at all. Even the scientist Hannibal Chu, who was like played by James Hong. I love James Hong. I don't think like he's got enough. I loved him in Big Trouble in Little China. Like even him, who was a scientist, was dirty and grimy. Yeah, like he had a lab.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. He gave up the lab coat a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like
starts wearing cruddy rags and old T-shirts.
So weird.
Did you like Daryl Hannah and what's the other guy? The main replicant guy's name?
Rutger
Hauer. Yeah.
Great actor, dude. He was great. He had a weird body. But like he had one of those Tom Cruise weird
barrel chested type deals. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a really good movie. So was it worth it? Are you glad you got to see
absolutely. No, it was great. And particularly like he was such a complex villain. Like he was
was he really a villain kind of thing?
Like he was definitely I don't even know if he was evil, but I mean he did kill his creator. He even called him father, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, he told him, he's like, I can't extend your life. You know, like, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
And it looked like he was, like, about to give him a kiss and hug him. I was like, oh, like, maybe he understood. It's like, nah, he's going to murder him.
Yeah. And, I mean, a big thing is, like, those robots, basically, they're treated as slaves.
Yep.
They're made to work on like, the moon mines and stuff like that. Or
mercenaries or
soldiers.
Or
mercenaries or whatever. And then they live for, 6 years?
4 years.
4 years. They live for 4 years and then they die. And that they have like a built-in lifespan.
And it was
to keep them from rising up and like
it was like the 4 years was by design because they didn't want them to get too smart, too knowledgeable, and realize what's going on and try to take over.
Right. Exactly. And so you got to think about it from his point of view too. It's like, what would I do?
Well, also, I mean, he saved Deckard. He didn't have to.
Right.
He was like he was dying, and he was like, well, and then he saved Deckard when he could have easily let him die. And then he delivered a great line, which I realized, when I was researching, he wrote that and like gave it to Ridley Scott just because like I love it. Go for it. It was like he's like all of my memories will be forgotten like tears in the rain, and I was like, holy shit, like that's a dope line. The actor wrote it himself.
Yeah, he was amazing, man. Yeah, it's a good one. I'm excited for you to watch 2049. This is a hot take, but I think 2049 fundamentally it might be a better movie. Now it wouldn't exist without the first one, so but as far as like the enjoyment factor and like where it took the story and what I wanted from the story, I actually like it a little bit.
No, it was
better.
Great. It was an amazing film.
Yeah, so
I guess like now it's even studied in film school, which and when it came out, it didn't even do great.
Right. And a lot of movies are like that. We talked about briefly Dr. Sleep last week.
Yeah.
How it's like, why didn't that movie do good?
I don't know.
And how a movie does in theaters is so dependent on like multiple factors, like the time of year it comes out, the amount of money they put into the advertising, how they advertise it. A good example is the Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Live, Die, Repeat, and how they kind of changed the name, or like they marketed it as Live, Die, Repeat, but it was actually called Edge of Tomorrow. And
Well,
so
I thought it was the first one was the name. Huh.
Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah.
No, it's Edge of Tomorrow is the title of that movie. But when you see the posters for it, it says Live, Die, Repeat. Then at the bottom it says Edge of Tomorrow. And then, when you buy the DVD, same sort of thing. And so people would see the advertisement that says Live, Die, Repeat. And then they would go to the movie theaters and it would say Edge of Tomorrow and they would just not see it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's one of those things where like that, and that was a good movie. It was a cool concept.
Yeah.
Based off a comic book.
Really? Edge
yep.
of Tomorrow?
Yep.
That was
The comic book was called All You Need Is Kill. Just three terrible titles in a row.
That was definitely a great movie that suffered from bad CGI with the aliens. Like the noodle monster.
I would say not even like bad CGI, but bad character design.
Yeah.
I think the robots looked great.
That's my only
And then
critique.
the aliens looked like shit.
Yeah, the aliens looked like crap. It's like, dude, you guys couldn't redesign that shit?
Yeah. But anyway, cool. So, do you have a new movie for me to watch for next time?
Ooh, I gotta think about
You
it.
need to think about it.
But it will definitely continue canon.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, my next one for you is definitely Blade Runner 2049, the Ryan Gosling sequel.
I'm down.
I'm excited for you to watch it. I might rewatch it just so I can experience it with you because it's so good. That's another one though. Did shitty in the movie theaters, but it's like universally.
At least when I remember people saying, I think they said it was too long.
It is very long and
So
slow.
Well, that's fine, dude. Well, not all of them can be, and that's something that I think like movies today. Fuck, I don't want to sound like an old man. Movies today.
Back in my day.
Like in the past, movies did a better job at pacing. Not everything has to be. In fact, it's a little.
I think Michael Bay fucked it up for everyone.
Like
he made so much money off of robot explosion, helicopter shot.
I love Marvel movies, but I feel like some of them like are too quick. Like
especially the Avengers movies because so much has to happen.
Or Captain Marvel. I remember like hey, it's just a little bit too fast. Like slow it down. But versus like
Captain America: Civil War,
Winter
Soldier. I mean,
it had great pacing. Like there was great action, but give it a little breathing time. Like let it lead to something else naturally.
I've been rewatching the Marvel movies, and I've
rewatched.
I redid all the Captain Americas. Dude, the first one was so good.
I need to rewatch.
Like I feel like people kind of shit on that one, but it is really good.
Winter Soldier is still fucking amazing. Great action.
Good. And Civil War too is great. All right, well that does it for us. We'll have some more movie swapping later. Make sure you guys check us out, nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. That's where you get all of our info for Instagram, Twitter, Facebookins. You can buy some Nerd Tea Confession, our delicious tea beverage. It's getting to be tea weather, even though it's like 90 degrees today. It will be eventually. And then you can also check out Phoenix Fit, too, and get yourself some tasty supplements for your Phoenix
and
fitness.
And whatever was the ad that may or may not have been in there.
Yeah, and then buy whatever the ad said.
Buy.
Blah, 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 blah.
You gotta hide your lips so they don't. Try to lip.
We'll just have another ad here after we're done. Hope you guys like our movie switchings, and let us know on Facebook what are some bad movies that I should watch, or some really good movies that Christian should watch,
or Twitter,
or
Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Let us know. Thank you, Christian, for making me endure that Chuck Norris piece of shit.
You liked it.
I like parts of it. And I hope you enjoyed Blade Runner. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you and good night.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.